Hi everybody, another Friday rolls around and we're indoors. We're going through a little bit of a stormy patch at the moment. In fact, the storm from last week has meant that some people have been without electricity now for over a week. Can you imagine, in this day and age where we're used to just flicking a switch and then you've got to do without your electric for over a week? That must be pretty hard, I would think. In a previous storm I read that one family was reduced to chopping up their furniture and burning it to keep warm. I sincerely hope nobody's in that position. It's a bit grim, isn't it? In the southern hemisphere, you guys are suffering a bit, it sounds like. Jim Nichols from New Zealand says he's struggling to get his kites in the air at the moment because of the climate conditions, as it were. So 21st of this month is the shortest day here, so from there we're on our way to summer. You guys, of course, are going the other way. Anyway, last week's vlog then, which was, no, it wasn't last week, it was the vlog the week before that, wasn't it? And especially the film club offering of Flanders, the war graves. And that touched all of us, I think, one way or another. Typical comment here from Jim Nichols. He said, "Good to see those spring flowers picking up in your garden already. What a stark contrast to the scenes in Flanders, where those thousands of young men never got to see another spring." Yep. Trev Joyce. It clearly highlighted the futility and horror of war. Sadly, because of the instantaneousness of modern news media, we're so used to seeing the terrible things that happen in this world that we're in danger of becoming desensitised to it. Gosh, I hope not, Trev. But I know exactly where you're coming from. Michael from Poland. All those young men who decided to serve their country and gave their lives in doing so. Peter Hopkins served his country. He said, "Having served in the military and fought in many conflicts, declared and undeclared, I've made a point of visiting British and Commonwealth cemeteries as often as I can." He then goes on to say, "I had one outstanding day and saved a whole load of soldiers and a bunch of civilians from a suicide bomb." But there were other days. So Peter, down to you. There are people on the planet now that wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your actions. I don't know what I can say to that. Thank you didn't make it, does it? You have our respect and admiration. Thanks for that, Peter. Let's let Simon the Hairy Golfer finish this section then. Morning, Ron. I visited the graves in Normandy. They go on forever. I wish politicians had to count them all, every one. Then it might not happen again. Yeah, what a superb idea. Surely they couldn't go around counting all those graves and not be moved by it. Film club then, oh no, last week's film, Broom. Andrew Merriman says, "Well done, Ron, another interesting video. I'm really glad Dean suggested it to you." And then Andrew then goes on, as he does, and explains all the workings of the Broom Junction and especially the signal box. I knew there were the bits and pieces in the signal box that I couldn't work out what they were there for. I knew Andrew would know what it was, and of course he does. Read Andrew's comments. And he's getting international fame now, is our Andrew. Gary Dwyer from Australia. Hey again, Ron, forgot to mention, always enjoy reading what Andrew Merriman contributes. There you are, look, Andrew. International fame. Stick with me, you'll wear diamonds. That's what I told my wife. She says she's still waiting. Oh dear. Vicengro, Richard. I have to say that Andrew Merriman's comments add a depth of interest. They certainly do. Do you think the former station area is fenced off for development or maybe to deter travellers? I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that's a possibility, isn't it? Lionel and Mary Travels. Lionel says, "I can't understand why it's all locked up and fenced off." Yeah, the travellers angle, I wonder. Although I wouldn't mind betting houses will appear on that site sooner if not later. Des Bryan, I hope I've pronounced that right, Des. I used to live in Ulster, a few miles north of Broome, in the early to mid 1990s. I regularly rode my new orange P7 mountain bike along the track. Ooh, flash. Thank you for the trip back in time. If these films produce memories in people, nice memories, my work is done. Brilliant. You're most welcome, Des. West Country Wanderings, our Paul. So this is fascinating to think I've whizzed past that signal box so many times on the A46 without realising it was there. Ah, you want to see Paul? Robert Sinterbury said, great video. The river is the Arrow, not the Avon. Oh, where did I get the Avon from, I wonder? Faulty map reading, I expect. Also, the signal box is in plain view from the A46 within a few metres. The line crossed the Avon just out of Evesham station towards Tewkesbury, and the abutments are still standing, accessible via footpaths on both sides of the river. Ah, I write that in my list of places to visit, I think. Robert, thank you for that. Peter Batty says, photos of how Broome Junction looked in its heyday and after closure can be found at the Warwickshire Railway site. Oh, that's worth a visit then. I'll pop and have a look at that. Good. Nicholas Bent. I wasn't sure where this one was going until the signal box. No, you're not the only one, Nicholas. The junction has a fascinating history. Nicholas then goes on, and in very much the same way that Andrew does it, he goes into some lovely detail of the runnings of that particular junction and the railway. Brilliant. Go to comments, look up Nicholas Bent and have a read. Worth the trouble. And he also says the definitive book is Ashchurch to Park Green Line by R.J. Essery. I've ordered it, Nicholas. Yeah, our friends Amazon should be dropping that through the letterbox sooner if not later. Right, now we'll finish this off then. Simon the Hairy Golfer. I thought he was in Thailand now, but no, he said, I'm sat here at work, Ron. I'll be here for another 9 years. I'm younger than I look. It was a hard paper round. So you gave up that paper round, Simon. Let somebody else have a go. Rodney Masters. Rodney. Finding that signal box in the wilds was akin to Mr. Stanley stumbling across Dr. Livingstone in Africa. I think you might be over-egging it just slightly there, Rodney. Only slightly. Sumac MacArthur. Now, Sumac is our mascot. She's our virtual mascot. She lives with James Weeks over in Canada. I must try and get a picture of, or try and work out what sort of breed Sumac is. See if we can't get a picture. She says, apparently I'm in the doghouse because I ripped apart a snowman toy that James had just bought me. He forgets I'm a dog. Lovely. Right, next week, Newnham. Newnham is a town on the banks of the River Severn, which is also served by a railway, so it has a double interest. We'll pop and have a look around there. I've had a quick look at the map, it seems to be worth a visit, so we'll pop and have a look at that. Film club next week, I've got down here, rain, and yeah, that's a topical subject, isn't it, at the moment. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Again, it's a piece I've stolen from another video, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. Have a look, see what you think, and I'll see you next Friday then, down at Newnham. Don't be late.